So now you're ready to fill out the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid. The fastest and easiest way to complete the FAFSA is online at fafsa.ed.gov. Be sure that you get to this official website. There are many scam websites out there, so when you get there, it should look like this.
Great! So where do I start?
First, to help you prepare for filling out the FAFSA, you'll want to download the FAFSA on the Web worksheet. Click right there. Filling out the worksheet before you go online will make it so much easier. If you have your FAFSA on the Web worksheet in front of you, look on page 1 to make sure you have all of the items you need to begin. And we're going to start on page 2 by walking you step by step through the Student Information section. That's section 1. The first question's pretty easy. You probably know your last name. But see where it says Q1 in parentheses? That lets you know that this question corresponds with question number 1 on the actual FAFSA on the web. The next question, about your Social Security number, corresponds with question number 8 on the online FAFSA.
What if I don't know my Social Security number?
That's a good question. If you don't know your Social Security number, or if you lost it or don't have one, this is the time to get one, because a Social Security number is almost always required to be considered for any financial aid. Take a moment to contact the Social Security Administration at 800-772-1213 or visit their website at ssa.gov.
What if I don't have a driver's license for the next question?
If you don't have a driver's license or an identification card for the next question, question 11, just leave this question blank. Question 14 asks if you are a U.S. citizen. If you're not, you may still qualify for financial aid if you're an eligible non-citizen. Remember, you can only receive state and federal financial aid if you are a U.S. citizen or an eligible non-citizen. If you're unsure, read through the bullets below the eligible non-citizen answer to see if you qualify. It's important to note that if you check the last box, neither a citizen nor an eligible non-citizen, you won't be eligible for federal student aid. But complete the FAFSA anyway, because you may be eligible for aid coming directly from the college.
What if I get stuck and need help?
A quick note about questions. When you're actually completing the FAFSA on the web, you'll have many opportunities to get help if you're stuck. You can click at the bottom of each page where it says, Need Help. You can go to the top of the page and click on the helpful FAQ, or just click on Contact Us for the toll-free number to get a real person who can help you on the phone. Back to the worksheet. Next, you'll see questions about your marital status and about your state of legal residence. List your marital status as of the day you're filling out the FAFSA, single for most of you. Your legal residence, question 18, is where you live if you're considered independent for financial aid purposes, or where your parents have their permanent residence if you're considered dependent. And don't worry about question 20 unless you've moved to Indiana in the last 5 years. If so, just enter the date you moved in.
Why is question 22 important?
Question 22 asks just guys, ages 18 to 25, if they've registered for selective service. If you're 18 and haven't registered, just mark Register Me, since it's required by law, and they'll make sure you're signed up. Question 23 is the drug conviction question. This one often raises some concerns. Note that this question asks if you have been convicted of possessing or selling drugs. If you haven't been convicted, say no. If you have, saying yes doesn't necessarily mean you won't get financial aid. You'll just get a worksheet that will ask for more information. In either case, don't leave this question blank. Answer it honestly, yes or no. If you have questions, call the Federal Student Aid Information Center at 1-800-4FED-AID. On questions 24 and 25, mark the highest level of schooling your parents completed. If you don't know, mark Other/Unknown.
Why does it matter what level of schooling my parents completed?
Some colleges offer special assistance to students whose parents have never completed any college, so that's why the question is here. Question 29, at the bottom of the worksheet, asks what degree you'll be seeking in college. Most students choose either first bachelor's degree, if you're going to a four-year college like IU or Purdue, or associate's degree, if you're planning to go to a two-year college like Ivy Tech or Vincennes University. There's no wrong answer. Just check the one that seems to be the best fit with your plans. And if your plans change, you can contact the College Financial Aid Office to let them know. When you turn the page and look at question number 30, it asks if you're planning to be a full-time or part-time student. The most common answer is full-time, but there are other options listed for you to choose.
What if I don't know?
If you don't know, just make your best guess. And if you're not sure, mark full-time, because that will give you the most options. The last question in Section 1 asks if you are interested in work study, which are jobs on campus, or if you're interested in student loans. Our recommendation is to check the box that says both work study and student loans. That way, you'll leave your options open. Later on, you can decline either option when you get your student aid letter. Remember that selecting any one of these responses doesn't guarantee that you will be offered a work-study position or a student loan. That completes Section 1. Good work. Section 2, which begins close to the top of page 3 of your FAFSA on the web worksheet, is only concerned about one thing: whether you are dependent on your parents for support or if you're independent, according to the government's definition. For most students, you're a dependent of your parents, and you'll answer no to all of the following questions.
What if I'm 18 and I live on my own?
Some students think they're independent because they're 18 or they live away from home, but it's only if they meet specific government criteria. So be sure to read through each question and answer each one. You'll be asked if your birth date is before January 1st, 1986, if you're legally married at the time that you're filing the FAFSA, whether or not you're in an advanced master's or doctorate degree program, and if you're currently on active duty with the military or a military veteran. Again, for most students, the answers will be no. If you have children or other dependents, read questions 53 and 54 carefully. You can only mark yes if you provide more than half of the support for them. Answer yes to question 55 if both of your parents were deceased when you were 13 years or older, or if you were in foster care or a ward of the court, any one of those. If you get to questions 56 and 57 and you're not sure if you're emancipated or in a legal guardianship, note that these questions require that you have a determination by a court to be considered emancipated, and in order for you to answer yes. Either you or your family will have some paperwork that will confirm this. Just living away from home or being 18 doesn't necessarily mean you're legally emancipated. The last three questions in this section refer to students who are homeless or at risk of being homeless. Read carefully through the definitions in small print and answer accordingly. And that's the end of the student dependency section. If you answered yes to any of the questions, you don't have to provide any parent information. But if you answered no to all of the questions in this Section 2, then Section 3, providing parental information, is next. Remember, if something was not covered in this video, or if you still have some questions, have no fear, because there is always a Need Help button at the bottom of every page on the FAFSA on the web, where you can find more information and get clarification. You can also find more help at studentaid.ed.gov or at finaid.org.